Hello everybody. Well, as you can probably tell by the Christmas paper, I am wrapping Christmas presents for my Sydney family today. Now, I got started early on theirs because the postage is a little bit all over the place this time of year, and I just wanted to get it done and out of the way. And I went shopping last week, and I have also made, as you would know, a little bracelet for my daughter, and I'll show you as I go. I'm going to take that tag off, what I got each person. So I'm not sure whether I've told you or not, but my younger daughter, my youngest daughter Ashley, is having another baby boy. So I couldn't resist. This little baby is due in March, but I had to do the Nana thing and get a little summer onesie and a little warm wintry one as well. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's a little elephant there. Isn't that so precious? So it's called mitten cuffs. Oh, means that they can put the hand, cover the hand up with the cuff like that, so they're not putting their fists in their mouths. There we go. So I'll wrap those up separately. But that is my happy news at the moment, is the little grandson on his way. So for the mummy, I thought she needed something special, so I got her a nightie, a pink soft cotton nightie, and these satin pajamas, nice shorty pajamas that she'll be nice and comfortable in during this pregnancy and afterwards. So I'm going to wrap these into some tissue paper first, and then I'll wrap those. So that's her bracelet, and I got a little something extra for her. This is a luxury quality satin pillowcase, and it also has a little sachet in there with nice smelling potpourri just to pop in the undies drawer, and a beautiful pink satin pillowcase that she can lay her head on. Might just get that a little, that's better. So I might pop the bracelet inside here for her, and then that'll be a nice surprise when she opens that up. So that's that for Ashley. Now in this box here, I've got some, oh look at these, I found these beautiful little bells that I can attach. They're pretty. So there's some pink ones, green ones, orange, red. So I thought that I'd attach those to each parcel. Got some red tissue paper and some white tissue paper and some red ribbon and some red and white bows. Don't need the receipt. So I'm going to wrap everything individually. I've got 6 gifts to wrap, and I thought I'd just place everything in this box and post it off down to Sydney. So we'll get started. So I'm going to start with some tissue paper and just wrap up the clothing items. I think the little box can stay out. Wasn't sure whether I was going to wrap that separately or together. We'll see as we go along. So yes, I know that it's not even November yet, but please don't have a go at me for starting a Christmas video early. I'm just getting myself organised because I have a lot of things to do. So let's start with these. I don't know if I'll do double or single. Probably just single will do. Those. Do you know, this is my biggest trigger, is watching somebody wrapping presents. I used to love watching my mother wrapping. And it would just put me to sleep. Just hold that down there. That's nice. Okay. Move that up there. Now, put that on top. Actually, I want that to be on the bottom. Like, I might leave that like that. There we go. Does anybody remember your first experience with ASMR? Do you remember what the first trigger was? I can remember being in primary school. And my school teacher, she used to stand right behind you and watch you doing your work. And she'd lean over. And I remember one day she leaned over me, and the bottom part of her skirt, her dress, was tickling my arm. And in primary school, of course, we didn't use pens, we used pencils with what we in Australia call rubbers. and I know, yes, in America you call them erasers. And she got the eraser and she was rubbing out, and my paper in my text, in my exercise book, was that crumply, made that crumply noise. And as she was rubbing out, and then she got my pencil and she was writing over the top, and the paper was making this crumpling noise. And that, coupled with the feeling of her dress tickling my leg, or my arm, sorry, just sent me into a complete, I was rendered completely floppy. And then I found that when I would watch my mother wrapping presents, that I again was rendered completely floppy. And just watching her hand movements and the way that she so meticulously wrapped the gifts, and the sounds of the paper, everything. So I used to look forward to when she would wrap the Christmas presents, and I can remember being a child and saying, "Are you going to wrap presents now, Mummy? Are you going to wrap presents now?" Just so I could go in and watch. Actually, I think I need a longer piece for that. But, you know, honestly, I used to think there was something wrong with me. I thought I was the only one that would just go so completely bleh and gooey over someone just turning the pages of a magazine. Goodness me. I used to work as a medical receptionist, and I'd be at my desk working, and then there'd be a patient sitting in the waiting room, and they'd start flipping through a magazine, and do you think I could work? And then I remember one day one of my work colleagues, she had to rush out and get her son a birthday present. And she came back and she started wrapping the presents on the desk right next to me. And I was rendered completely non-compass. I could not move a muscle. She did it so slowly and carefully and daintily. And it wasn't until probably, I want to say 3 years ago, that I first heard of ASMR. And I was watching a woman in the UK, and she was doing a video on, she was a librarian, that's right. And so she's flipping through these books, and I was completely over the moon to discover that there wasn't anything wrong with me. It's actually a thing. ASMR is a thing. So there became my fixation with ASMR videos. So it's funny, isn't it? You know how we all have different triggers. Okay, there's Ashley. And, you know, everybody has a very different trigger. And I've got to tell you, when I went into Harvey Norman to get microphones and things like that, and there was a young guy in there. He said, what are you wanting it for? I said, I want to do ASMR videos, so it's got to be quite sensitive. He said, oh, what's your trigger? And I said, I like page turning and things like that. He said, oh, I love eating. I said, oh, no, I can't listen to people eating. Now, I just wanted to show you this. This is for my, what is she now? Hallie would be coming up June, July, August, September, October, November. She's almost 18 months old. And she loves satin. So I got her these little satin pajamas. But I love the little bottoms. Aren't they so cute? It's gorgeous little pants to go over her nappy. And then I got her another pair, just like mummy's, with the little shorts. But I'd never seen satin pajamas with the little pants before, so I thought they were just darling. And I can't wait. Hopefully I get to see her running around in these. So these are for little Hallie. Those. It's been extremely hot up here in the Whitsundays past couple of days. So we're coming into November, which is high humidity, lots of stingers. And we'll have lots of overseas tourists coming to spend their Christmas holidays up here. Okay, now I did cut a piece of paper before. There it is. So I'm just using the same Santa Claus paper on everybody's. Now what I didn't get when I was shopping was name tags. Just have to put a little note on each one until I can get the tags. But Christmas for me is always a very quiet one. One of my biggest hopes and wishes is to have a Christmas day where I have all of my family around me, all of my grandchildren, both of my daughters, and my dad. But I'll share something with you. And it's a sad thing, but I have a daughter who is 34, and she has 2 beautiful children, and I unfortunately have not been allowed to see my grandchildren. My daughter has, over the years, decided that she she's angry with me. She's angry with her sister. And it was February 4 years ago that we last saw her and the children. But she gets very upset any time that my other daughter in Sydney comes to visit. That seems to be the trigger. So without going into detail, something upset her February 4 years ago, and we haven't seen her or heard from her since. Now, I know that it's a very common thing. I know 4 other women who are going through the same thing. One woman, it's her son, who hasn't spoken to her for 5 years. And she holds out hope every single Christmas that she will hear from him. And she said, you know, the years go by and nothing. But I just hold hope that one day she will come back to me and we can sit down and discuss what it is that has caused her so much anger and hurt, I suppose. And normally I would want to just reach out to her, but I do know my daughter well enough to know, and she's an Aries, and you can't push an Aries, and you can't push my daughter, so when she's ready she will get in touch with me. And for me to reach out to her before she's ready would completely put her into a tailspin of regressing backwards. So I'm just waiting patiently. I'm sending her love every day, and the children. I miss those kids so much. But anyway, my wish and hope is that one day we will all reconcile and come back together. So anyway, this is my oldest granddaughter's. She's 11. So I got her and her sister a new one-piece bathing suit. How gorgeous is this? So we've got like a plaited strap and then another shoulder strap, so that doesn't come off, which you wouldn't want it to. But I thought these were so pretty, and they've got, you know, like sea life on there. So we've got shells and we've got starfish and beautiful hibiscus flowers. So I hope the girls will like their new togs that they can wear when they come to visit Nan Nan up in Airlie Beach. So that's the bathers, and then they've all, in case you haven't noticed, they're all getting satin pyjamas. So I got the navy blue for Layla, and she's got the little shorts. And I just got one of these for each of them as well. Just says New York. They like these little kinds of light jerseys, so I thought that would be nice to add in there. So Layla's got all dark blue. Here we go. Actually, I might put those underneath. That. One day one day we will be in my place when I get a bigger place, and I'm not giving up hope. There we are. Okay. There's somebody, I'm sorry if I can't remember your name, but somebody asked me whether, because in Australia it's summertime at Christmas, they wanted to know whether we still decorate at Christmas time. Using snowmen and icicles and snowflakes and things like that. And yes, we do, even though it is hot in summer here, our Christmas decorations are exactly the same as, say, America or what did I do with my scissors? Here they are. Or UK, you know, wherever it might snow. And I know it seems a little bit odd to those who celebrate Christmas time in winter. Just cut this. Hard to imagine that we would be having snowmen and snowflakes and things out on the lawns in summertime. But I mean, there's beautiful streets here with gorgeous light displays, and so it looks very much like other countries as far as decorations go, just not the weather. And of course, our Christmas lunch or dinner is cold, so we don't have, well, some people in Australia have hot lunches and they eat inside with the air conditioning on. But a lot of Australians, and I would say majority of Australians, we have ours outside or underneath fans out on a patio or a deck, or if we're lucky enough to have a swimming pool. So our Christmas days are just spent outside playing games. A lot of people go to the beach, but I tell you what, if you plan on spending Christmas by the water here, you want to get down there early because everybody wants to be beside the water. So yes, if you've got a swimming pool in Australia, you suddenly have lots of friends. Now, I just want to just going to mark an H for Hallie. This is an L for Layla. So I know whose is whose when I put the tags on. Now, and I did get to spend one Christmas, no, was it Christmas? I think it was. Over in America with my grandparents in Oklahoma City. And I had never seen snow in my life before. And this was just magic for me. I could not believe how cold and how there was a certain smell when it snowed, and I thought, this is a smell that I've never smelt before. And I'll never forget that time. Yes, it was Christmas because I got a skateboard. I can remember that. Yes, I do remember. I remember seeing it under the Christmas tree. A blue skateboard with red wheels. Oh gosh, I loved that. Let's give Layla a white bow. Actually, no, I'll give her a white one. And because I, do prefer the heat to the cold, I've not ever had any real desire to go to the snow. However, that's not to say I wouldn't not pack a holiday. So we have snow here in Australia. We have down south, we have a place called Perisher Valley, and we have a lot of people that go down there for their Christmases because they do like to have a cold Christmas. Actually, I'll do Ben's in a minute. That's my son-in-law. No, I'll do that now. So, my son-in-law Ben, he was the one. Remember, I did the Guardian Bell when he got his Harley Davidson motorcycle. So he likes black things. So because everybody's getting pajamas, so I got him some nice black shorts, nice soft cotton shorts to wear. And I got him these satin ones as well. The little skull and crossbones. So I think he'll find those pretty nifty. So you won't see my son-in-law wearing colourful things, but he's a lovely man, and he's from Penrith in Sydney, and nobody down there seems to wear anything colourful. They all wear black and grey. So that's why I was ready to move up here and have a smarty party with some colour. I used to love it when my kids were little. And wrapping up presents and then playing Santa Claus, having to go out to the Christmas tree at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and eat the carrot that they left for the reindeer. Well, put it in the bin or back in the fridge. By the time I got to it at 3 in the morning, the biscuits or whatever, they're a bit soggy. But it was so much fun. And I raised my girls by myself, so that was all on me. And I can remember I was wrapping presents one year, and I used to sometimes I'd put from Santa. And then one year I thought, I'm not giving Santa the credit for this. So I would make one present from Santa and the rest was from Mummy. They knew Santa wasn't real anyway, they just used to. Well, they did believe in Santa up until they were about, I think Ashley would have been about 8 or 9. 8, Alana would have been 11. And I remember Alana asking me one year, is Santa real? And I said to her, if you believe in him, then he's real. When you stop believing, then no. And then one year it was Easter. And I used to go into their bedrooms and I'd lay all the Easter eggs at the foot of the bed. And sometimes you do the little paw prints, in talcum powder, all of that stuff. And we still laugh about this now. My other daughter remembers me walking into her bedroom and I put all the Easter eggs, laid them out at the foot of her bed, and she woke up and she looked at me and I said, go back to sleep. She said, Mum, I'll always remember that Easter when I saw you coming into my room and I went, go back to sleep. So I think that was the end of believing in the Easter Bunny as well. Oh, goodness me. I was kind of glad when I didn't have to keep getting up early and doing those things. But it was fun when they were really little because it was fun to watch the excitement on their faces. Oops. I used to really enjoy hiding Easter eggs. I used to get those little teeny tiny eggs and just hide them around. There's Benny Boos. So my daughter in Sydney this is her family. She's just graduated as an RN. She's done her 3 years of nursing training and she's also having a baby in March, and she amazes me, how she holds it all together, but she does have a wonderful husband who does a lot at home for her. My daughter and son-in-law were in the army for 5 years, and during that time my son-in-law got injured, and so he's got very, very bad back issues, which makes it very hard for him to do physical work, which he hates because he's such a good worker. And for a man, it's very important for them to feel like they have purpose and value, and he went through a terrible time, bless his heart, because he couldn't go out and work. But I tell you what, he goes out, he does work on weekends, and he's very resourceful. He's very good with things like the share market and that kind of thing. He's done a lot of reading on that. But I just, you know, have admired both of them. They've been together 11 years now, and I've admired both of them for the way that they just made things work, especially when times were difficult. And he's grown into such a responsible, you know, he was such a young boy, well, not boy, he was 21 I think when we met Ben, and now he's 33, yeah. So there's Evie's. So she's got the same thing. I've got to take the price tag off Layla's. And then she's got the yellow pajamas. She loves yellow. She used to love purple, so she likes yellow. So she's got the yellow satin pajamas, and I got her the New York shirt as well. They have big family down in Sydney, all Ben's relatives. So Christmas Day is paper everywhere and lots of gifts and things. So I'm kind of glad to be able to have them open my gifts separately. I said to my daughter, it's up to you if you want to open them up when you receive the package or if you want to wait till Christmas. And then I've just got one more to do, which is little baby boy Bunting, little baby boy Bo. They're going to name him Bo. So cute. My daughter had a scan yesterday, and after having 3 girls, they're pretty excited about having a baby boy. And on the scan, you know, you could see his little appendage. And Ashley, you know, she said, I still can hardly believe that we're having a boy. She said I wanted the sonographer to just hone in on his little appendage, we'll call it, just so it would sink into her head, you know, that they're actually having a boy this time. She just couldn't believe it. I'm so excited for them. So I'm going to fly down to Sydney probably in April next year to meet this little boy. You know, I'm so happy that they're having this baby in the warmer months. Every child's been a winter baby, and because they live down south, it's very cold to go and visit. Oops, sorry, that was loud. I'm so sorry. Oops, another one on the side there. Oh dear. Okay. Almost done. So then I've got to go to the post office after this. And I've got to talk to them about the cost of postage to overseas, because I've opened an Etsy shop yesterday for my jewellery, and I'm going to include postage for any buyers, but I just need to find out what that postage is going to look like. Those crazy tariffs. I hope these don't, no, they won't fall off. So my daughter, she has an Etsy shop, little online business, and she had an order come from the States, and then they had to cancel it because of the cost of the postage. But I believe that it was a temporary thing, so I just need to go and find out exactly what's going on. But you know, when it's costing people sales because the postage is more than the product itself, that's just not good, not good. Okay, so that's Evie. I hope these are all going to fit in the box. Do you know what? I think I'm going to need a bigger box. They're not going to fit. I have to get another box. Maybe I won't box them up, or just put them all into a... I didn't realise how bulky that was going to be. I really thought they would be really flat. Oh well, I've got myself a little box there, probably to hold jewellery making stuff with. Now we've just got little baby bows outfit, and then we're done. So to attach these as well. Do that in a second. It's a thing when I get talking, but I did want to share this with you. I thought it's a nice, relaxing thing to do, and I wanted to share this because it's the only Christmas wrapping that I'll be doing this year. So my daughter got offered a nursing position, part-time of course, at the hospital of her choice, and it's for 12 months, and she will start that. I think they wanted her to start in February. Of course, that won't be possible. So she's very excited about that. I would love to see her in a small country practice. I'd love to see her as one of 2 nurses working in a small practice, because I can remember when I was working in general practice, if you had a lovely nurse to work with in the treatment room, that just made for a very pleasant working environment. And if you had a cranky nurse, of course the opposite. And I just know that she would be very valued if she was in a small practice, because she's very caring, compassionate, very gentle lady, and she's very good with comforting people. But I think a hospital environment is what she'd like to be working in, at least for now, because she wants all that extra. Like, she really would like to work in surgical ward, and she was wanting to be an assistant to the anaesthetist. And she got to do that when she did her training, when she did placement, and she found it so incredibly fascinating, because she got to see a lot of operations. She got to see some babies born by a cesarean. Very exciting. So there's lots happening in the new year for them. Gosh, I'm going to need one big jiffy bag, I can tell you. I think I need a bigger piece than that. I'm sure I can end up, if I went to the variety store, I should be able to find a bigger box than what I got. I really thought that half a dozen like flat packages would have fit in there, but clearly I've misjudged, but that's okay. There'll be a jiffy bag, I think, might be the way, but I just thought a box would be better. Okay, let's go this way. So glad to have this all done now. So, these are so pretty. See if I can thread that onto there. crimping ribbon, isn't it? Just going to put a bit of sticky tape just to hold that on there like that. Put that under there. You can't see it. Then I'll add some more of this. So I didn't get to do my hoolie test on Saturday. Remember I spoke last video about my outrigger where I have to do a 400 meter swim test, and I have to do the hoolie test, and unfortunately on Saturday morning, I'd been anticipating this the whole night before and like ready to do it. It's no big deal, but I was just a little bit nervous because they, go through the safety things. It's like, oh, don't get hit in the head with the Yaku, and make sure you're holding onto your paddle and have one hand on top of your head. And so I turned up Saturday morning, and the northerly winds had picked up so much that it was very lumpy and very rough out there in the seas, so we weren't able to do the hoolie test. Mind you, we nearly hoolied a few times. Well, that's pretty with the little bell on there. Grab another one of those. Green one. So now that we've come into stinger season, means I'm going to have to do it with a wetsuit on, which is not going to be fun to paddle in a wetsuit. I might actually see if I can just carry a stinger suit with me, and that's nice. Just put it on when it's time to do that. I like those. I can just put a my mother used to put bells and reindeer and all sorts of, she used to find the most beautiful decorations to put on our presents. She didn't want to open them. We wanted to see what was inside, but of course, the meticulous care that she would go to with each of our presents, and oh man, could she decorate a tree. I think being American, she knew how to decorate. Having to fold this ribbon in half to make sure that Ali can have a bit of pink one. We had a bit of rain here last night. And we have cyclone season as well up here, as so I've been told, which is about to hit around November, December. So I'm yet to learn all these new things about my new environment and what's what. We have little midges that come out at night time and bite. And you can't see them, they're so tiny, so you have to start wearing insect repellent now. Go outside at night. I see some people, just their legs are just covered in bites. It's terrible. But that's something I've got to remember to purchase, is some insect repellent. Okay, and I know that one's Ashley's. Okay, well that's my Christmas wrapping done for 2025. Hope you've all enjoyed that. I'll take this box and go and find a better purpose with it. But until the next video, have a lovely day everybody. Bye bye.